Okay, here's our video on divisibility rules. So just real quick. Divisibility rules, our learning target is students will be able to tell if a number is divisible by 2, 3, 5, 6, 9, and 10 without solving. Numbers 2, 3, 5, 6, 9, 10. There's rules for other numbers, but these are the ones that we're going to focus on. 2, 5, and 10 you should probably know. Those are pretty easy. 3 and 9, a little bit more difficult, and then 6 is kind of an interesting rule that can kind of lead us into a lot of other numbers if you learn what 6 is about. Okay, let's go over the rules for each one. Okay, so here's how you tell if a number is divisible by these following numbers. 2, if the number is even, which means it ends in 0, 2, 4, 6, or 8, then the number is even. So that's every other number. It's going to be even, so they're going to be divisible by 2. That's our rule for 2. Pretty simple. Okay, 3. 3 is an interesting rule. 3 is the sum of the digits is divisible by 3. Sum means to add. The digits are the numbers that are used to make it. So if it's 359, you would do 3 plus 5 plus 9, and you would add those up. That's 17. 17 is not divisible by 3, so then the big number is not divisible by 3. 3 is very interesting, a lot of math that goes into it, but you have to remember to add up the digits to see what they are divisible by. 5 is pretty easy. If the number ends in 0 or 5, the number is divisible by 5, so that one's pretty simple. 6 is an interesting one. If the number is divisible by 2 and 3, that is because the first number that 2 and 3 go into is 6, and then the next number they go into is 12, which are the multiples of 6. So if you do your rule for 2, which means if it's even, that's your first clue. If it's an even number, and then it's divisible by 3, add up the sums, and if that's divisible by 3, so if it's an even number that's divisible by 3, then it's also divisible by 6. So that's kind of a cool rule. Number 9 is almost the identical rule to 3. If the sum of the digits is divisible by 3, okay? Or I'm sorry, divisible by 9. So 3, they have to be only divisible by 3. For 9, they have to be divisible by 9. So it's a little bit less often that occurs, but it's the same idea. And as a matter of fact, if you're checking 3 and 9, you add them up once. You can check them at the same time. So that's pretty nice. All right, and then 10 is pretty simple if the number ends in 0. Okay, so there's our divisibility rules, and those are really handy to have. And this helps us when we're simplifying fractions, when we're trying to compare numbers, look for common factors, stuff like that. The divisibility rules can help us determine some of these numbers. Okay, all right, I'm going to move on to do an example, and then that'll be it. Okay, I only got one example, really, with 4 different things. All right, without dividing the number, so without solving it, I want to check the box of the integer that the number is divisible by. Okay, so I'm not going to divide 135 by 2 to see if I get a remainder or not. That's a waste of time. I'm just going to check, is 35 divisible by 2? Is it even? No, so it's not divisible by 2. For 3, add them up. 1 plus 3 plus 5. That equals 9. Okay, so is 3 divisible by 9? Or is 9 divisible by 3? Yes. So we can put a check in that box because 3 goes into it. What about 5? Yes, it ends in 0, 5. What about 6? No, because it's not even, so it's not 6. Okay. What about 9? Well, I already did the work over there, added to 9. 1 plus 3 plus 5 equals 9, so 9 works. And then what about 10? No, it does not end in 0, so 10 doesn't work. Okay, let's try our next number, 1024. Is it even? Yes. Is it divisible by 3? Well, 1 plus 0. I'm going to do the math over here. 1 plus 0 plus 2 plus 4, that equals 7. So no for 3, because 7 is not divisible by 3. 5, no, because it doesn't end in 0 or 5. 6, no, because you don't have 3 checked off. It is even, but 3 doesn't go into it. No 9, because 9 doesn't go into 7. And no 10. So just 2. Of all those choices, 2 is the only one that goes into it. Okay, let's try 87. 2, nope, it's even. It's an odd number. 2 is for even, so that doesn't work. Okay, add them up. You get 15, so that works for 3. Ends in 7, nope. Ends in 6, not even, so no 6. 9, no, 9 does not go into 15. So here's a case where it can be divisible by, where 135 is divisible by both 3 and 9. 87 is divisible by 3, but not 9. So it can't, sometimes it's not both. And not 10 because it doesn't end in 0. So you can see that sometimes it's more than 1, sometimes it's just 1. Okay, let's try 120. 120 is even, so I'll put a check in 2. Add them up. 1 plus 2 equals 3. So 3 works. Check. Ends in 5 or 0? Yep. Check. 6, yes, because 2 and 3 are there, so 6 is going to be a yes. 9, added them up and it was 3. 9 does not go into 3. You're checking to see if this number 9 goes into 3. No, 9 does not work. 10, yes, ends in 0. So that one's almost all of them except for 9. So that's the process that you want to go through for these divisibility rules. Okay, that's it. If you need to watch anything again, go ahead. Otherwise, have a great night, and let's talk to you tomorrow.